Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi, my lives! It's Destin Choice, and you're watching Choice TV. Now, today's video, I decided to talk about this whole situation involving Tisha Campbell and Martin. I'm going to be enjoying my breakfast because I took off my fucking Greyhound. Don't judge me. I'm cheap. So, long story short, if you guys didn't know, Martin Lawrence and Tisha Campbell are basically in the media over some bullshit, and I'm basically going to give my thoughts on it, and I'm also going to share my very unpopular opinion about the whole situation. And as I did, I'm going to be enjoying my small little breakfast. I got my potato salad that I got from Walmart, and then I got my chicken sliders, vegan soy chicken sliders. But anyways, if you guys didn't know, let me give you guys a quick breakdown. So basically, Tisha Campbell and Martin from the show Martin, I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with the show. The show is basically a global success and very important to pop culture. You know, the show is probably top 5 behind Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, one of the greatest black sitcoms of all time. You know, the show plays a really big part of our childhood, but a big reason why the show ended, a lot of people don't know this, a big reason why Martin ended was because Tisha Campbell had to walk away from the show during the filming of season 5. Now, she actually walked away from the show specifically because, according to her, Martin made her very uncomfortable. Now, if you go back to watch season 5 of Martin, you'll see that Tisha Campbell appeared from episodes 1 until the end, but she wasn't in a lot of the episodes, or when she was in the episodes, she wasn't present in a lot of the scenes.
You must be Martin. Gina is in Detroit. She wanted to surprise you.
After episode 10 of season 5, you know, they started making episodes for Cole. They gave Pam a dedicated episode, which that was okay. And then you could tell the show was kind of ending because you could see the look on Martin's face. Martin looked over it. You could see that he had these large bags on his eyes. He was gaining weight. He looked like shit. Not only that, Martin was also going through a lot of shit with tabloids and the media, and he was always in and out of the news, so it was blatantly obvious the show was going to end. And after Gina left, the show got a little bit corny. You know, the people just weren't with it anymore, and it just became dragged out. And it got to the point where they were literally putting a celebrity in literally every episode. Like, one episode had Method Man, then one episode had Tyrese Gibson, the next episode had fucking so many people, where it was just like, okay, yeah, this is getting boring, this is getting old. And at this point, the show just had to end from there because Gina had walked away. Now, if you didn't know why Gina walked away, back in 1997, Gina filed a civil lawsuit against Martin because, according to her, Martin made her very uncomfortable because he was sexually harassing her. He was saying a lot of nasty comments to her. He was overly touching her. And there was even one time where, you know, a reporter said that a source told them that Martin would force his tongue down Gina's throat. Not only that, he would even extend the bedroom scene so that he could take advantage of her every chance he got. And it just became very repetitive. And not only that, a lot of the people who were on set noticed a lot of the tension but did nothing because they were too busy trying to keep their jobs. So Gina had walked away from the show, and she decided to file a lawsuit against Martin and his whole team. Now, following that, they tried to make her come back, but she didn't want to come back, and she couldn't come back. But then eventually they got her to come around, and when Gina finally came around, basically, she said she would only return if she did episodes without Martin being in there. Hence, when you watch the finale, you could see that every time Martin came in the room, Gina was nowhere to be found. Martin was funny and all, but he wasn't funny enough to carry the show on his own. You know, the Me Too movement wasn't as popping as it is today. So realistically, if those allegations had came out now and Martin had just came out now, realistically, Martin would have been canceled. But of course, a lot of people didn't really believe Tisha at first, but then a lot of people did believe her. But of course, since Martin didn't want to deal with all the allegations and the media tabloids, and he didn't want to deal with the fact that Tisha Campbell was throwing dirt on his name, he never addressed it back in 97. In fact, 22 years ago, he stayed ignoring it the entire time. He actually revealed that he walked away from the show in his recent interview with GQ. And if you guys didn't know, Martin Lawrence and Will Smith are on a huge press run right now because Bad Boys had just came out, and personally, I went to go see it, and I couldn't get jiggy with that shit. I just didn't like it at all. That's just my personal opinion. The movie was just... that's all it was. It wasn't worth the hype. But anyways, so Martin revealed during his interview with GQ why the show ended. So in his GQ interview, he was asked, why did the show end? Why did it abruptly end? You know, what was with the random ending? Martin said, it was a lot of bullshit. We don't need to talk about something that just didn't happen. So I just decided to walk away from the show. I just decided to end it. People said that I got canceled, but that wasn't the case. I decided to just leave the show. Now, you can see how that could stir a lot of controversy because it's been 22 years and Martin chooses now to address it. And not just that, Martin isn't the only one who's been silent about it. Tisha has been silent about it too. It's been 22 years, and throughout all the years of them doing interviews, they've always dubbed the questions. They've never addressed it. Or when they do interviews throughout the past couple of years, throughout the past decades, they've always never been asked it. Because, for some reason, that's always rubbed me the wrong way that people have never asked me these questions, because these are genuine questions that everybody wants to know. From what we're hearing, this is just from the press. We're just hearing this from the media. Obviously, Tisha walked away from the show. Obviously, something happened. And obviously, Martin was going through some shit because he did allow his mental health to fuck up his career to a certain extent. Here's the controversy now. After Martin did that interview with GQ to reveal why he really left the show, Tisha Campbell basically faced a lot of backlash. A lot of people were just like, wow, this bitch must have been lying then. She must have been lying. Now, after she got a lot of backlash for that, she then decided to go on national television on a boring-ass talk show called The Talk. And as she was on that show, she then decided to address it because she was actually on the show because she's promoting this new corny-ass sitcom that she's on called Mismatched. But anyways, Tisha Campbell decided to address it, and she literally revealed some very surprising information. After 22 years of these allegations being out, she finally decided to address it, and what she basically said caught a lot of us off guard.
Well, I can't go into much detail about the past because there was a confidentiality agreement, and so the gag order says no. Okay. But what I can say is, to your question, I was actually kind of shocked. And so there were people in my ear saying, just to be still, be quiet, don't say anything. And then there were other people who were like, you need to back. You know what I mean? Right. But I was like, I took a day and I said, I'm going to just hit him up. So I hit him up. He called me within a minute. It didn't even take him a minute to call me back. And so I was like, hey. And he was like, T. I said, yo, are we good? Right. And he was like, yeah, T, don't read into what it is. There's a lot of people that's trying to bring up the past and trying to make it news today. But, T, we're good. I love you. I love your family. And I was like, okay. And he said, most people don't know that we've talked. And so when you go, if you look back, there was some pictures of us, and we had lunch last year. And most people were talking about a reboot. And for us, it wasn't about a reboot. It was about a reconnection. He reached out to me. And I got to break bread with my co-stars. And we got to talk about everything.
Oh, good.
Okay? And so I can't, again, I'm not going to go into details because I want to respect his privacy and I want to respect mine. Yeah. But I will say by the end of it, it was nothing but laughter and healing. And I got a chance to experience that.
And she claimed that she was very surprised at Martin's response. What does that mean? She also said in her interview that she's under a gag order, so she legally can't talk about it because she's under a confidential agreement. Now that caught me off guard as well, because that wasn't reported and a lot of us didn't know that. And she's the only one to tell us this. Now, I did watch The Breakfast Club to see what they had to say about the situation, but of course, they pick and choose what they give their opinion on, and of course, they're very biased when it comes to a lot of things, and they choose when to insert their thoughts and things. A lot of people have the narrative of, oh, nah, clearly, they're just trying to turn a black man down, they're trying to tear a black man down, at the end of the day, they just don't want to see a black man succeed. He has a movie coming out, and now the media is trying to turn it into some bullshit. Listen, you guys know I'm the fucking king of pulling the race card. I love it. That's why white people do not like me. They be like, shut the fuck up! Everything is not about race! They crawl out of the crevices like roaches. It's not about race! But in this situation, I don't think this is the case. I don't think it has anything with the fact that they're just trying to drag a black man down. Now, I'm a very firm believer in the media can't twist anything that you don't give them. So when he revealed that information in GQ, that he decided to walk away from the show and that all the allegations were bullshit and he doesn't want to talk about it because nothing happened, for me, that raised a lot of eyebrows. But for a lot of people, for some reason, people decided to just turn the other way. Now, I was surprised when Charlamagne didn't give his input on it, but then again, Charlamagne better not give his fucking input on it, because if you know anything about Charlamagne, you know that he recently faced a lot of allegations about a woman that claimed that she was raped by him. But that's another video. Anyways, so Charlamagne better not give his fucking opinion. So I understood that. But other than that, a lot of people were just saying, oh, nah, leave them alone. They're cool, they're cool, they're cool. But here's my thing. here's my thoughts on it. Tisha Campbell addresses it. She says she was surprised at what he had to say. She said they were cool. Boom. They left it at that. Here's my thing. If you guys didn't know, I'll say a year and a half ago, close to 2 years ago, Martin, Tashina Arnold, a.k.a. Pam, Tisha Campbell, and Gina. So they all basically met up after basically 18 years of not speaking to each other. After 20 years not speaking to each other, they finally linked up. And basically, they had dinner together at Morton Steakhouse in Burbank, California. Now, after they were having dinner, the paparazzi ended up catching them. And as they walked out, the paparazzi interviewed them and basically asked them, like, what's with this? You know, why are you guys linking up? And they basically let it be known that they were cool. You know, they took pictures, shared pictures on their Instagram. The picture on their Instagram went viral and so on and so forth. Now, for me, I see it like this. I was very much side-eyeing Tisha Campbell after she revealed that she was surprised at his response. Because for me, I was like, Raggy? What the fuck are you surprised about? And then when Martin said it was all bullshit, nothing happened, I was like, comprende? I don't know what the fuck he meant by nothing happened. Now, obviously, something happened. Something happened, and there's something that they're not telling us. And I think they definitely do owe the fans a lot of closure, because Tisha's departure is what led to the demise of the show. You know, the show, Tisha Campbell literally was the fucking show. And without her, the show went through a demise. I really wish they would have given us the closure we needed, considering that Martin is such a big part of pop culture. Even though Martin does reinforce a lot of negative stereotypes about black people, but that's a whole other video and a whole other conversation that a lot of people aren't ready for. I thought it was just very, very weird how she claimed that she was surprised at what he had to say. But that made me side-eye her, because I was like, okay, at this point, I'm starting to think Tisha Campbell is full of shit in her claims. Because if you guys know anything about lawsuits and court systems and all this extra bullshit, normally when somebody decides to sign a confidential agreement, or when they agree to come back to work, or when they agree to do their, like, you know, last couple of hours, 9 times out of 10, they pay you off. So this leads me to believe that maybe Tisha Campbell was paid off. Maybe she was paid a couple $1 million. Maybe Martin's team gave her millions to shut her mouth. Because this all could have ruined Martin's career. This could have tarnished his legacy. You know, this is a black man, first. And two, it's a little bit weird. And I'm starting to side-eye Keisha, and I'm starting to side-eye her innocence and her credibility. Now, this is a very unpopular opinion. I know a lot of people might not agree with me, but I'm going to just keep it a buck. How the hell do you say someone sexually assaulted you and you report that to the judge and you try to file a lawsuit in 1997, 22 years ago, and then you decide to go on dinner with this man? You decide to go on dinner with this man a year and a half ago, and then apparently you have his number, and apparently you ask him, are y'all good? I don't know about y'all, but if I was Tisha and I made an allegation saying that this person sexually assaulted me, groped me, grabbed me funny, there's no way in hell that I would, 22 years later, sit and kick it with someone who sexually assaulted me, and I had to, like, take it to the legal system. There's no way in hell that I would go that far as to go into court and try to file a lawsuit, then sign a confidential agreement, and then 22 years later letting it go and making it water under the bridge. I understand that they're in their 50s now, they're over it, they're grown, they have their own lives and everything, but that's a little bit skeptical on Tisha's part. Fuck, I keep calling her as Gina. But anyways, I'm a little bit skeptical about her. And I'm skeptical about her because she never revealed that she signed a confidentiality agreement. 1. 2, y'all are cool now. 3, y'all had dinner together. And 4, you called him after he said that publicly. I'm a firm believer in, look, if you drag me in public, you have to apologize to me on the same platform you dragged me on. You know, he did an interview with a very massive magazine. You know, millions of people probably read that article, and a lot of people are probably now side-eyeing Tisha, like me. Like, now a lot of people are very skeptical about her story now. And I'm skeptical about her story because I don't know any woman that would want to kick it with someone who sexually assaulted her, grabbed her funny. I don't know anyone that would sit at lunch with the person that did that to them. That just doesn't make any sense to me. And it doesn't make any sense to me how Martin denounced all these shit. He embarrassed her by saying it was all bullshit. And I don't gotta talk about something that didn't happen. You know, maybe Tisha Campbell didn't want to speak up back in the day because it was one of those things where maybe her career was on the line. Because let's think about it. Back in the day, Tisha Campbell was up and coming. I mean, yeah, she was popping because she had did House Party back then. And she did a lot of other couple of films back then. But she wasn't popping until she got on Martin. You know, shortly after Martin ended, she ended up booking the role on Wife and Kids a couple years later. And that was really a big deal for her. And after Martin actually went on to have a really successful career. You know, he did Bad Boys. You know, he did 2 sequels of Bad Boys. Not only that, he also did Big Mama, and he did so much other movies like College Road Trip with Raven-Symoné. You know, he had a really big career. But maybe there was a big reason why she didn't speak up, because, I don't know, I just feel like we need closure, and it's very confusing, because Tisha Campbell can't be out here making allegations like that, especially way back in the 90s. You know, back in the 90s, nobody really gave a fuck, but now, you can't really go around letting allegations stick, and then making it clear, I was surprised, I was shocked, because when she said she was shocked, I was like, yes, Tisha, tell us everything that happened, and then she followed it up by saying, oh, there's a confidentiality agreement, and then she follows it up by saying, I'm cool with him. I'm good with him. I'm cool. That's the media. If that nigga really did touch her or assault her in a way that was very inappropriate, I don't really have any respect for Tisha Campbell to go sit and have dinner with this man 19 years later, and then 22 years later, now that we're in present day, she decides that she wants to protect him. You know, keep her mouth shut, not say anything. It just doesn't make any sense. And maybe she doesn't want to bring up anything because she doesn't want a lot of the negative attention to cloud what she's up to right now, because she does have a lot of roles pending right now. But it doesn't make any sense for me. And it's crazy because a lot of the people who were on set on Martin had nothing to say. You know, when Tashina was asked about it back in 2016 during her documentary.
You know, show business at a certain point in his life got the best of him. And when that happens, you see it happening. And there's nothing you can do about it. So when he and Tisha had their bout, what I always respected about the both of them, neither of them made me feel uncomfortable. You know, right before Tisha left the set, because she had to, it got to that point, and I understood it. It's just like the Matrix. It was like, you know?
It's not my tea to spill. It's not my business. It is what it is. And then with the dude who played Brumman on Martin, even he was asked about it. He's like, he don't know nothing about the allegations.
I just knew that, you know, it was a little, you know, tension, you know, on the set. You know, sometimes I go, you know, but he was always cool, you know, with me. I never seen, you know, no animosity toward me or really any other characters.
In this day and age, in the Me Too era, you know, you can't be out here saying shit and not being able to back it up. So, you know, like I said, I kind of don't believe Tisha Campbell anymore. I do believe something happened, but I have a feeling she might have exaggerated the story. I have a feeling that if she does come out and tell the truth, Martin and his team are going to come through with the receipts and pull up all the bullshit that they got on her. Because something tells me that they got some shit on her, and if she try to speak up or say anything, they're going to try to sue that ass, and they're going to try to come with the receipts, and then her career going to be over, and then she's going to be canceled. Because this just doesn't make any sense. I'm side-eyeing her because your story's not adding up, my love. Your story's not adding up, my love. In my Monique voice, make it make sense, my love. Now, a lot of people probably might not agree with this because this is an unpopular opinion, but like I said, this has nothing to do with trying to tear a black person down, trying to tear black people down. This has nothing to do with the media trying to force them against each other. Martin clearly said it was all bullshit. So you saying that implies that she's lying. So why the fuck would you say that shit? Like, why not? I don't know. But then again, let's think about it for a second. Who would own up to a sexual assault? Who would own up to a misdemeanor? That's literally a crime. Who would own up to doing all this fuck shit? I understand that because a lot of men aren't brave enough to do shit like that. But then again, the average person would have just said, no comment, I refuse to answer, next question. That would have made more sense. But he straight up denounced her and played her like she was a liar. And she has some fucking nerve to sit up here and say, are we good? She deserved Donkey of the Day for that one, in my opinion, because it just doesn't make any fucking sense. See, this is why you can't give me the fucking mic, because I will really call these fucking people out. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So, as far as how I feel about Tisha Campbell, yeah, I gotta side-eye her real quick. Martin, I'm side-eyeing too, but at the same time, I don't know. Realistically, if I was in Martin's position, I wouldn't be out here saying shit and spilling shit unless I had information to back it up. Unless I had witnesses to back it up. So maybe Martin does have shit on her, and there's some shit that she's not telling us. So it all makes sense. But that's just how I feel about the situation. And after Martin, you know, his career just wasn't the same in my opinion. I don't know, maybe this had a lot to do with the the allegations taking a toll on his mental health. Because if you guys notice, Martin did have a successful career. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to fucking downplay his career. But let's think about it for a second. After Martin, he had, you know, Bad Boys. After Bad Boys, he had Big Mama, where he played a fucking big fat ass mammy that reinforced a dangerous stereotype about black women. But that's another video, another conversation that a lot of people aren't ready for. And then he had Big Mama 2, which was okay. And then Big Mama 3, which was fucking garbage. But other than that, he hasn't really had any huge box office hits. You know, Martin hasn't really starred in anything massive ever since the early 2000s. You know, ever since the early 2000s creeped away, you just don't really see Martin doing big, massive things. You know, he's tried. Like, if you guys didn't know, back in 2014, he actually got his own sitcom. Yeah, the face you're making is the same face I made. That actually existed. Martin tried to pitch another sitcom called Partners way back in the day. And it was basically about him playing a lawyer and him having a family and a whole bunch of other stupid shit. And basically the show only lasted like fucking 10 episodes. It lasted like 10 episodes and it didn't go further than one season, which is really, really fucking sad. It only lasted 2 months. So Martin really hasn't really gotten to a huge mainstream level like he used to be. And I believe a big reason why his career might have ended the way it did is I think he pulled a Cat Williams. You know, once Martin became irrelevant, that's when Cat Williams became relevant. And of course, you know, we know what happened with Cat Williams. And we know what happened with Martin. Martin let his mental health get in the way. I'm sure he let alcohol get in the way. As far as Tisha Campbell and Martin, like I said, I think they definitely owe everybody an explanation. And I don't want anybody coming up on here saying, oh, that's old stuff. That's old stuff. Leave that alone. That's old stuff. Okay, cool. That's old stuff. But it still can happen. And I think for people to say, oh, that's old stuff, that's old news, that's old news. Well, Tisha has never really denied it. Now her story isn't adding up, but she never said anything didn't happen. Martin said nothing happened, but Tisha has never said nothing happened. And for people to say, oh, that's old stuff, I mean, come on, y'all. Fucking really? Bill Cosby was out here fucking putting pop shits in people's drinks since the fucking late 80s, and now all of a sudden, when it comes to Martin, all of a sudden it's, oh, that's old stuff, that's old stuff. Let's keep the same energy we have with Bill Cosby, okay? Saying, oh, that's old stuff is like saying, oh, R. Kelly pissed on a girl, so what? Allegedly he pissed on somebody. That's old stuff. Let's keep the same energy here. So that's really all I got to say about the situation. As far as the chicken sliders, they taste like shit. It tastes like Invisible. So I'm not gonna eat this. Anyways. Yeah. Martin and Tisha Campbell need to be really held accountable for this. And it's crazy how a lot of people are tiptoeing around this. And a lot of people are playing the Bird Box Challenge when it comes to looking at the real situation with this. You know, a lot of people aren't reporting on it. People aren't talking about it. And, you know, Martin Lawrence and Tisha to this day are cool. Because if you guys didn't know, after she did her little talk show interview, he basically posted a picture of them two. And he basically said, I love you, in a spot with the media saying, I got love for you. And she liked it and even commented on that. So, you know, obviously they're good and they're cool and they're in a good space. But I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know anyone who would want to forgive someone who sexually assaulted them. That just doesn't make any sense. You know, for me, I think that's a slap in the face to the Me Too movement. And I think that's a slap in the face to all the women who have been sexually assaulted. And I think that's a slap in the face to all the women who don't have the courage to speak up. Because unlike a lot of women, Gina spoke up. And a lot of times, you know, sexual assault is a very sensitive topic. And a lot of people generally never speak up. People usually keep that shit to themselves. But what Tisha Campbell did was very, very fucking brave. And then she tried to sue. You try to sue a very powerful man. Kudos to you. But then again, you're trying to backtrack your statements by saying, I signed a non-disclosure agreement and we're good. Don't make no sense. I understand water under the bridge, but come on now, it makes no fucking sense. And I don't want to hear any excuse of they were young. Come on, come fucking on. Stop with the they were young. Stop. And please understand that Martin was 32 at the time, and Tisha Campbell had just turned 28. So they were really, you know, this shit was really deep, really a lot deeper. And had this happened now, Martin Lawrence would have been way canceled. Maybe she didn't speak out because Martin had big things planned. He became a household name after Martin. Maybe this would have ruined his bag. Maybe they paid her a couple $100,000 to shut the fuck up, or a couple million to leave it alone, or both their careers would have been at stake. Tisha Campbell's full of shit, and they're canceled in my book. Because there's another way she could have addressed it. She could have simply been like, okay, I can't talk about it, but all I know is what he said doesn't add up to what happened. So that's all I'm going to say. Just know that we're no longer cool, and that's unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is. Or, I don't want to talk about it, but I just want to say that something did happen, and obviously, I don't agree with what he said. At the same time, it is what it is. I think that's really how she could have addressed it. But to say that y'all are cool, goodbye. Please, guys, do me a favor and check out my sponsor, Car Marshal. Click on this link. I get paid per click by commission. If you guys click this link, yes, I get paid per click. And also, please do me a favor, y'all, and definitely search through the site. Search through the site, look for a deal, type in your zip code, and basically it'll connect you to nearby sellers for a car that you might be looking for. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Give your thoughts and opinions, come check them down below. And yeah. And by the way, y'all, my podcast drops very, very soon. Don't forget, if you guys made it to the end, please remember, y'all, YouTube loves to literally restrict me and a whole bunch of other nonsense. But please be mindful, y'all. My podcast is coming very soon. So podcast coming very, very soon. February 1st is going to be on SoundCloud. It's going to be mainly on Apple Music and Spotify. Basically all the major streaming platforms. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and it'll also be on SoundCloud and a whole bunch of extra shit. Google Play. And just know that I'm also going to be filming it too. For a lot of you guys who are asking, am I going to film it? Yes, I'm going to film it. And no, I'm not charging y'all. It's going to be 100% free. You'll be able to watch me talking to my mic. You'll be able to see me interview guests and a whole bunch of extra stuff. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. So February 1st, all the streaming platforms. And yeah, exclusive raw content that I probably won't even be able to post on here. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And stay tuned for the name and the art. So yeah, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. That's that. Choice out this bitch. Thank you. That's all you get for free.